So today I'm going to show you some quick and easy projects that you can do for children or with children. And then I'm going to show you how to make this super cute and super easy fun fold card. And if you can believe it, I actually made a card today without any Stampin' Dimensionals. Those of you who know me know that's like almost never happens. Probably 99% of the things I make have Stampin' Dimensionals on them. So that's a lot of fun. So we're going to start with something super easy first, and then go into the two other projects that I have to show you. Lots of, well, all children in Ohio, and I'm sure lots across the country, are being homeschooled right now. Parents, grandparents, caregivers, guardians, everybody is looking for ways not only to school their children, but also to keep them occupied and busy, and maybe introducing them to some new activities or new crafts, things they can do from home. One thing that I think is very hard for children, especially young ones who really are not understanding why, but they can't be with their friends. They can't be with the neighborhood kids. They can't go to tumbling class or story time at the library, that sort of thing. So having some craft activities at home can help pass some of that time and get kids thinking about what they can do instead of what they can't do, okay? And thinking what we can do versus what we cannot do at this time is really what's going to get all of us through this. So we're all in this together, so I hope you're inspired by some of the ideas I shared today, and I hope you will share your crafting. So today I'm focusing on the Dino Days stamp set and the Dinoroar Designer Series paper. These items are found in the annual catalog. Cute stamp set. Super easy for kids to stamp too. And then a wonderful set of dies, more of which I've already got laid out because we're using for today's projects. So take a look at those in the annual catalog. I'm starting this first craft with a pizza box. Our pizza boxes come flat. There's 8 in a package for $6. So reasonably priced, 85 cents or so a piece. So cute for kids crafts right now, cute for party favors or to send a little gift. The mini pizza boxes also are great for gift cards and small gifts, maybe jewelry, something like that for adults and older children. But today I'm using it for game storage. And this game is super easy. This is for the little ones. Let's say, ages 1.5, 2, and up through preschool. Kids who are learning their colors. Now, I pulled 6 colors that match the Designer Series paper. And it's Lovely Lipstick, Flirty Flamingo, Mango Melody, Pineapple Punch, which will be retiring next month, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. Of course, this isn't so much of a name the color game. It can be, but if for something like that, you may want to use the very most basic colors, like Real Red, Pacific Point, daffodil, the true reds, yellow, blue, etc. I see that Joni is asking, is Stampin' Up! Still shipping on time with COVID-19? Very good question. And when you punch these, punch 2 of each, obviously, since we're playing a matching game. But I'm going to talk and punch at the same time. That's a very good question, Joni. Stampin' Up! Typically ships orders within 1 to 2 days of orders being placed. Right now, they're shipping about 3 to 4 days. There is a reason for that. our manufacturing facility, as well as our distribution center, the home office, everything is still open. However, in order to protect the Stampin' Up! Employees and staff, they have gone to doing split shifts, meaning that half the employees are working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, extended hours, and the other half are working Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, extended hours. So things are continuously in operation, but they're working at half staff in order to protect everybody and keep everybody safe and healthy. We have been told our CEO, Sarah Douglas, is wonderful. She's been even started doing Facebook Lives of her own to update demonstrators. Yesterday, she actually, or 2 days ago, she actually did a Facebook Live for both demonstrators and customers. And in the last week, since her previous Facebook Live, that means of operation, I'll say, the new normal at Stampin' Up! Continues to be the same. It has not changed. Okay, so we are still taking orders. We are still shipping, of course, some dies and a few products that come from outside of the USA are taking longer to get here, and hopefully those things will be coming over the next month. Yes, they are taking, absolutely. I feel the very same way, Joni. They absolutely are taking all the necessary precautions, as well as continuing to be able to fill orders of our wonderful Stampin' Up! Products. So great question. And, you know, as demonstrators, that has been critical to us because most everybody has canceled all of their in-person classes, and that generates those in-person events, generate sales for us, further orders, whatever. So it's really been hard. It's a trying time, as it is, I'm sure, for many, if not all, other businesses as well. But we're just staying positive and moving forward, and appreciating all of the updates and what Stampin' Up! Is doing to keep running. Sarah Douglas, our CEO, also told us they have no intention of closing operations unless they are forced to. Utah is not in the same situation that we are presently in Ohio, or maybe even places like California, I'm trying to think, New York, some of those other states that are, you know, have the stay-at-home orders like we do. So we will continue to operate with that new normal until we hear something differently. It is our very last week. In fact, we're down to the last few days of celebration, our biggest annual promotion of the year. We have incentives for people who shop, who host or purchase their own, do their own order with enough for qualifying hosts. And then also for joining. Our joining package is the very, very best. So while in some ways we continue to operate as usual, in other ways things have changed and we're all pressing forward. One thing I will mention, as you know, not just Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, but all kinds of businesses are going more to doing things online, having meetings online. Teachers are working online. It's just the networks, I think, are overloaded. The internet services are overloaded. it has been pretty common that, what do I say? That Facebook Lives are being interrupted and cutting off. I had one last week or a couple of weeks ago that went out twice. And finally I just was like, well, that's a wrap. So give me some hearts if you're really hoping that there are no Facebook Live interruptions this afternoon. With that in mind, I will tell you that I get the most interruptions during my Facebook Lives for the evenings. Sunday evenings especially have gotten to be hard. It's that 7 p.m. Sunday evenings. So look for me to be changing the time of Sunday, probably to late afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock. And then as far as Tuesday evenings, I did switch from 8 p.m. to 7 p.m., got knocked off again. Fortunately, it was at the end of my demonstration, but I will probably be moving Tuesdays earlier too. And I apologize if some of you are still working or have a lot to deal with during the day with children, etc. But Facebook Lives can always be viewed later on my business page or this VIP group, and I even post them to my stampandpeace.com blog within a few days after. So even if you miss it live, you'll still be able to see. So what you can see is I just punched a dozen of the Starburst punches in Old Olive. I pulled 6 colors to coordinate with that dinosaur paper, which I just forgot the name of it. I said it earlier, didn't I? It is called Dinoroar series paper. So a fun little matching game for the kids. It took me minutes to make, didn't it? I made these little matching cards while I was talking with you. So just takes minutes to make, a few extra minutes if you want to decorate the box. Certainly kids can help you with this if you like. Also great for maybe grandparents to send off to little ones that they can't see during this time. Great for little party favors as well. You know that eventually this time of isolation will be lifted, and at some point life will get back to what we know it, and maybe even better, maybe even a little bit kinder. So those birthday parties and classroom events, things like that, will be happening again. So keep that in mind as you're crafting at home, okay? So quick and easy matching game for toddlers, early preschoolers. And then I have another matching game. Now this would probably be more like ages 3, 4 and up. And what I did, it again focuses on the Dinoroar Designer Series paper and the Dino Days stamp set. I'm using one of our half wide cases, okay? It's what like a small wood stamp set would have come in. And we do sell these 4 in a package for $5. Super reasonable for a nice little storage box and gift giving. Same thing, party favors, little gifts, just activities to keep your kids busy. And what I've done is on some of these I've stamped. And again, Dino Days stamp set is a fabulous stamp for little hands. Lots of small children, or you can have older children stamp and make the games for the younger ones. So on a few of these pairs, I believe there's 5, I stamped various dinosaurs, I stamped the palm tree, and then on the others, I just cut pieces of Designer Series paper, 2 of each. Okay, so my cards measure, the cardstock base measures 3 inches by 4 inches. All of the other cards, whether it's the white that I stamped on or the Designer Series paper that I cut, those are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, 4 by 3 or 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then, you know, certainly kids can shuffle and mix them up and match them. You could also play like an old maid game. I don't know how many of you are my age and remember that, but it's, you know, a handheld card game. So there are ways to take this and adapt this into other games. So a matching game, but other things. Another thing I thought of is you can do a scavenger hunt too. Joni, the age of Caleb, might be good for this. You can do a scavenger hunt as well. One person goes around and hides one of each of the cards. Okay? When they're all hidden in your home or your basement, wherever, even outside on the porch, when they're all hidden, then you show the child one card and they have to go around and find that. Or you can give them a few cards at a time and they have to go around and find that. Okay? Something fun to do. And honestly, the kids would love being the ones to hide the cards just as much as finding them. So, Joni, you can play it both ways at your house. Have Caleb hide cards and you and Brent go searching, and vice versa. Okay, so that's the second one. Before I show you how to make the pop-up card, I'll just show you another matching game I made with the Birthday Bonanza Buddies. Cute paper and cute images. Okay, this I just cut from designer series paper, the characters. And I did the same thing here. Card size is the same. And here I've got a little to from on. This would be a fun little party thank you for kids. It would be fun for grandparents to send to little ones. Perhaps even some people with dementia and Alzheimer's in a nursing home would be able to use something like this to play a game with, something like that. Okay, so let's set these aside. And now I want to show you how to make this cute pop-up card. It just stands like that. Okay, this is what it looks like from the side. And on the back of it, I have a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Whisper White for writing a message. This does fold flat and it fits in our standard size envelope for mailing. And lots of people could use Happy Mail right now, even kids. Kids love Happy Mail all the time. I think it makes them feel older and more mature. So let me show you how to do this. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention. This is a 1 inch square tube. You can fit little treats in here. The tiny little candy bar, stick a few of those in. What is it? What's the candy in the roll? Sweet Tarts or something like that. You know, stick down in there. So you can do something fun with that too. Even that would be fun, like at a little birthday party, make something like that and they can stick the treats in. But it does fold flat, so it's great for mailing. You're going to start with a piece of, I want to move some of this stuff out of the way. You know what? Let's finish off the characters first, the dinosaurs first, and then I'll show you how to cut and score and fold and put everything together. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and stamped these 3 dinosaurs. Okay. And what I wanted to show you is there are different ways you can decorate the dinosaurs. Oh yes, Rolos and Tootsie Rolls would fit perfectly in that. But what I wanted to show you is putting together the dinosaur, these 2 dies to accent these 2 dinosaurs seem a little bit too big. They're really not, and let me show you how they work. When you have these, what you want to do is line up these little, I have no idea what the technical name is, but those little triangle parts for your dinosaurs. Okay? You want to match up the triangles of the framelits to the stamp triangles. And you're going to end up with this white cardstock between the triangles and the other side, the curved side of the die. Does that make sense how I'm saying that? See, if you try to do it like this, nothing fits. But pull it in closer and you're going to line up the triangles on the die with the stamped triangles. Let me hold it a little bit closer so you can see what I mean there. Okay. And then you're all ready to cut. The other thing is, if you do this, and you all know my trick about using the washi tape, this is, not only does it help the things from not moving and jumping around, but it also allows you to cut several different dies at the same time. Okay? I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. So here I am cutting 5 dies at the same time. I'll show you then how to put those dinosaurs together, and then we'll start putting our pop-up card together. There's 1, 2, 3 dinosaurs and 2 dinosaur backs. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put these dinosaur backs on. Okay, they match up like this. I think the easiest way to do this is to use some glue dots and put them on the back of the dinosaur, not the extra piece, but on the dinosaur itself, close to the edge. I'm going to put them on here so you can hopefully see that a little bit better. These are glue dots I have left from my paper pumpkin kits. You know that the other glue dots that I use, that I buy from Stampin' Up, come on a roll, which I like just as well, but I always get so many extras with the paper pumpkin kits. I like to use up those. And then you're just going to match up the dinosaur with that back, and he's all set. That's what it looks like from the back. Hi, Sharon and Patty. Oh, Joni, I'm glad you like those ideas. You all know I love hearts and thumbs up. Did you know that all of those things make a difference on the Stampin' Up algorithm? It sounds crazy, but every time you comment, do a like, do a share, what else? Hearts, thumbs up, any of that, Facebook takes into account and helps drive traffic to my sites. I'm just doing the same thing here. And there is not an extra piece like this for our other dinosaur. You can see I'm struggling here. I have no idea the names of dinosaurs. I'm sure you with little ones or grandchildren, or if your kids were into that at some point, you probably remember. Mine never really were. And again, I'm just matching it up and then laying that dinosaur on top. Cute, cute, cute. And how easy is that, and makes such a nice difference. Oh, I just noticed you're seeing my head. Okay, now on this one, I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping. In the stamp set, not only do they give us these backs, but also some, what do I say, texture-like stamps. Okay. So I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to add some pretty peacock dots to this dinosaur, this tall guy here. Now you could leave it just like that, or if you want to fill in the dots, just use your Stampin' Right marker and fill them in quickly and easily. Again, a great little set for you to create things for little ones, but also a great set for little hands who want to stamp. All right, so now we have this done. I'm going to set these things aside for now. And we're going to work on the base of that pop-up card. I'll show it to you one more time. Okay, that's the base of our pop-up card. You need a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8 1/4 inch. Okay, I've already cut this to size, but one thing I like to do is double check my measurements. 5.5, and it's real simple to do with our Stampin' Trimmer, or paper trimmer, we're calling it. 5.5 by 8 1/4. Okay, then you are going to take this and you're going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Okay, so I've scored at 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches, and then I have 4 1/4 by 5.5 left on this side. And that is the same size as our standard card base then. Okay. You want to use your bone folder, of course, to burnish each of those score lines well. And ultimately, this is how we're going to put this together. All right, just roll it up just like that. You may want to grab this, and you can use any kind of good strong adhesive. But just to help me remember, I'm going to use the tear and tape on the part that is going to be attached to the main card base. The first thing I'm going to do here, and keep in mind, we're going to do some stamping here, but keep in mind that 1 inch of this will be covered up. Okay, 1 inch of this will be covered like that. Okay, so let's do some stamping. Where's my other one? What did I just do with mine? Fell on the floor, off my lap and onto the floor. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is stamp these trees. So I'm using, I'll get these out of the way. I'm using soft suede for the tree trunk. One I'm going to put up kind of high, like that. Oops, I scooted that a little bit. And I want it to go down further because otherwise there's going to be that gap here. So I'm going to go down a little bit further. Hi Pat, thanks for joining in. And then I'm going to stamp a couple more at varying heights. One up here. I'll do one a little lower. And then I'm going to put 2 more towards the left side of that card base. And again, I'm going to vary the height of some of these. There we go. Now I am going to use Old Olive ink for the tops of the trees. And you're going to be stamping this one stamp repeatedly. If you want some lighter shades in there, you can stamp off before you re-ink. Just kind of like that. And you can see when I'm doing, oops, let me wipe that off. When I'm doing all these leaves, I am constantly turning either my paper or the leaf stamp or both. Okay. And you know, they can overlap like trees really do. And I've got one tree left to do. Now if you wanted to add some at the bottom, because if some of these branches have fallen, you can certainly do that if you want. Like this. I'd say that's pretty good. You know, again, I like to fold mine when I'm doing this kind of card. I like to fold mine as I go along and kind of take a look at how somebody else would see it. Put another little stamp up here. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I'm going to put on what I'm just calling like the grassy ground area. I have a 5.5 by 1 inch strip of Old Olive, and I'm going to about 2/3 of way across the short end. I'm just going to rip towards me, and I'm going to be using both of these pieces. Okay, so they'll be overlapped like this. Alrighty, so the first one I'm going to add to the front. Now you remember you have the inside, which will meet the card base, the top, the front, and the bottom. Okay, so you're working on the front is actually this second rectangle from the bottom. I'm going to put a very narrow strip of the multi-purpose glue very close to that score line. Can you all see that okay? I'm going to give the video a moment to catch up with me. Yeah, I think you can see that. Just on top of that score line. And you only want that little bit of glue. You'll see in a moment why. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. Along that piece of Old Olive that I just stuck on there. And there's going to be a side of your cardstock strip that is smooth. I like the side where you see the that the paper was torn from. You see the different fibers to the of the cardstock, the different fibers. Okay, so I'm going to lay that across there, matching up the bottoms. And now The reason I said only put the glue along the very bottom close to that score line, that's because if you want to tuck some of the dinosaurs actually in between the grasses or behind the grasses, you can do that. All right, so now we are ready to add our dinosaurs. What I would say is you first want to just kind of put your dinosaurs in place where you think you want them to go. Kind of fold this back. You know, maybe put him somewhere. He looks like an herbivore, so he's going to be eating those tall trees. All right, so I think that's looking good to me. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some adhesive on this big guy. Remember, with this Tombow multi-purpose glue, a little goes a long, long way. As my friend Jackie would tell her kindergartners, a dot is a lot. I swear I think of that every single time I use multi-purpose glue. All right. Now here, when you're putting these two guys on, you want to keep in mind that you want your glue very low and only where it's going to actually hit that front part of the card. I'm going to kind of put him in the grasses a little like that. Also, make sure that you are not going beyond the edges of the card base, because especially if you're mailing. If you're not mailing it, if you're using it for party favors or something, it really doesn't matter. But if you are mailing, you want to stay within those edges of the card base. I want his other foot to come out here a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that. And my glue, yep, I'm all good there. So I'm going to do the same thing to this, estimating about where you were going to put your glue at the very bottom. And kind of the same thing. Okay, I just have to ask, does this dinosaur remind you of anybody, anything you know? A dinosaur you know. Does that one remind you? Let me give you a hint of what I'm thinking of when I ask you that. Anybody? Okay, now does it remind you of a dinosaur you know? As we were saying, if you stamp this stamp in Gorgeous Grape, it looks like the Barney dinosaur of many years ago that some of our children grew up with. And then the last thing that we need to do to complete our pop-up card is to pull off the backings of the Terran tape here. Whoops. There we go. And now you're just going to place this in that fold on the back panel and press down. And your pop-up card is now complete. It'll stand just like that. This is what it looks like from the inside. Perfect for putting in little treats, Rolos, Tootsie Rolls, little candy bars, whatever you like. And then on the back side here, I'm going to add a piece of 5¼ by 4" Whisper White so that you can, write a little message to a little person and put this in the mail. This folded flat like this is a standard size card size, so it fits right into our mailing envelopes. Okay, super, super cute. So thanks to all of you that joined me today to not only learn how to make this fun and easy pop-up card, but also who saw some of the other games I made for little hands. This is great for a matching game. It features the Dinoroar Designer Series paper and the Dino Days stamp set. You make 2 cards of each. Cardstock is 3" by 4". And then the game side, the matching side, is 2¾ by 3¾ cards. Our half-wide cases can be purchased for $5. You get 4 in a package, so great for just fun little game storages. Oh, and this one we also said you could do something like a scavenger hunt. Take half the cards, you go hide these, and then the other person has to go find them. We also said you could play like a handheld card game, which would be kind of like the old maid game of many years ago. And then I also started out by making a very, very simple and very quick matching game for very little children. Just matching up, lay them all out and match, look for matches, that sort of thing. And definitely any of these things can be made by older children for younger children, or you can make them together with those little ones. Great for party favors, little gifts to stick in the mail, that sort of thing. So I hope you've enjoyed all of today's projects. I look forward to being back together with you again. As I said earlier, Facebook Lives have been difficult lately because with so many people home and using the internet, servers are being overloaded, and Facebook especially, and we're getting kicked off a lot. So I may be having to make some changes, maybe doing some more videos in place of the Facebook Lives, changing times of Facebook Lives, things like that. But I thank you for viewing, and I thank you for supporting me in my business, and I wish you happy, healthy crafting days ahead. Bye-bye.